Have you ever seen a football team prepare for their next game? They don't just show up, they watch the tape. They study the opponent's every move. They prepare to win. What if I told you you're in a spiritual game and the enemy has been studying you? The question is, have you been studying him? Let's be real. If you were up against Tom Brady, you wouldn't just walk on the field with no plays, no pads, and no clue. So, why are we stepping into spiritual battles without knowing how our opponent plays? In Job 2:2, it talks about Satan roaming and seeking. He's not on vacation, ma'am, sir. He's on a mission. The question is, what are you doing about it? Now, if we pair that with Ephesians 6:12, where it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, are you getting me now? This is not a people problem. It's a principality problem. If you're constantly fighting people, hun, you're swinging at the wrong opponent. First of all, we've got to know our opponent's history. Satan's name used to be called Lucifer, which meant the shining one, morning star. He had status, he had beauty, he had pride, and he wanted the throne of God. If you read Isaiah 14, verses 13 and 14, I want you to count how many times he says, I will. Pride always precedes a fall, and fell he did. And not just his history, we got to know his territory too. John 12:31 calls him the prince of the world. But John 14:30 says he's got nothing in Jesus. But too many of us let him rent space in our minds. He's even got a kingdom. He rules over the demons and he influences our culture. But you gotta know, he is a counterfeit mastermind. And here's where it gets tricky. He mimics God. Watch this. In Revelation 2:9, he mimics the church. In Galatians 1:8, he mimics the gospel. In 2 Corinthians 11:15, he has ministers under him. In 1 Timothy 4:1, he has his own doctrine. And in 1 Corinthians 10:21, he has his own communion. If you're not anchored in truth, which is God and God's word, you'll be seduced what looks like truth. Don't tell me y'all forgot the play that he ran on Eve. Genesis 3 is the original scam. Satan didn't come with a pitchfork. He came with a question. Did God really say? That's how spiritual warfare starts, by twisting the truth just enough to sound like God. The key is to be armed and not alarmed. Ephesians 6:10 tells us to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. So we got to put on the whole armor of God. That means the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. Every piece is meant to protect you from deception, because don't forget, Satan is a deceiver. And most important, let's not forget, we need to watch the tape. Look at your thoughts. Look at your decisions. Look at your habits. Are they God-led or are they enemy influenced? Just like a team watches its opponent's patterns, you've got to study how Satan's worked in your life before, because he often runs the same plays. This isn't about being afraid. It's about being aware. Spiritual warfare is happening whether you believe it or not, and it's happening right now. This is not something that's going to happen in the future that we're preparing for today. It's happening right now, and the warfare is going to get worse. But victory is guaranteed if you show up dressed for battle.